ashe, ashe. Bonga alafia, ashe, ashe. Well, greetings to you, and thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for your interest in these programs that I'm providing. And I want to share with you that that song that I sang is Funga from Liberia, West Africa. Funga basically saying, I welcome you into my heart. Alafia, a term influenced by the Yoruba people of Nigeria, West Africa, which basically means may peace be with you. And Ashe being like saying amen or show you right, reminding us that there is definitely power in our words. I am Mama Edie McLeod Armstrong, and I am a speech and language pathologist, a professional storyteller, and percussionist, and I cannot separate myself. So wherever I am, I'm all of that. I'm a mom and Mama Edie and so forth. But this program I'm excited to share with you because for 40 years plus, I suppose, I had been collaborating with other speech and language pathologists, with the occupational therapists, with the physical therapists, with mental health specialists, so that we could come together and actually address more of the needs of the whole child and not just my part, just the speech therapy part. And they didn't want to just deal with the physical therapy part, that we would come together and discuss ways that we could develop lesson plans that would support each other's efforts. So, for example, if I'm working with a child that is nonverbal and I may be trying to teach them a little bit of sign language, a bit of ASL, and then the physical therapist may be working on also on the child's hands and fingers, that kind of thing. And someone who is addressing the needs of a child who is being challenged with some mental health issues, some emotional circumstances that may be stemming from home, then if we talk about that, then I can incorporate into my lesson plan language lessons that would help to provide the language that she may need in order to adequately express her thoughts, her feelings, her frustrations, even her joys. And so the importance of collaboration cannot be understated for me. And then to bring in the arts, to be able to bring in music and storytelling, it's just been really, really amazing. And I have seen children flourish because they suddenly had another way, another outlet to express themselves. And it was just a wonderful thing. So I'm going to share with you, this is going to be a very brief video, and I want to share with you a story that I wrote many years ago, like in 1990 something, 93 or something. And it does many things. And I want you to just listen to it, and and then we'll talk just a little bit about some extractions that we can get from it, how we can use it in language therapy, and even looking at what some other aspects might be. Well, we'll discuss when we get into our workshops what some other aspects might be for some of the other disciplines, other therapeutic disciplines. So this is a story. It's actually a story poem about Dr. Daniel Hale Williams. Now, I'm trusting that most of you all know who that is, and that he is the person who performed the first successful open heart surgery in the world. Now, many people had attempted it, but his was the first successful open heart surgery in the world. And so the poem goes like this. It was trying to just be a regular narrative story. It kept going into a poem, and I finally said, all right, you're a poem. And so it goes like this. One day there was an African American. His name was Dr. Dan. One day he decided to try his wings, 'cause he just knew he could do great things. One day a man came walking in his place. Dr. Dan saw the pain all over his face. The man said, Dr. Dan, I'm so in pain. Can you help me out, please? Can you explain why my heart is hurting inside me so? Please, Dr. Dan, I really need to know. Dr. Dan said, okay, lay up on that bed. Man did just what the doctor said. I said, the man did just what the doctor said. Dr. Dan used his stethoscope to listen to his heart, but the heart made funny sounds. It would stop, then start. Boom, 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 boom. Dr. Dan said, uh-oh, I need to use my little knife. The man said, oh no, well, will you please call my wife? Dr. Dan said, I'll call her, but let me explain. I'll use anesthesia. You won't feel any pain. Well, that's just a little taste of a story about an actual situation that Dr. Dan was in when he performed his open heart surgery. And looking at that story, it's an example. I wanted to use it as an example of one that taught history. It taught not only cultural history, but American history, because everybody who lives in America, and there are many people who live in America who now call this place home. And all of us, no matter how we got here, whether we came by force like my ancestors did, most of my ancestors did, or we chose to come here, all of us, if we've come to a place of calling this place home, then we play a part in that history. Yes. And so all of us are important. And with this being Black History Month, of course, I am talking about cultural history all year round, and not just for Black folks. I do everybody's history. And it's an experience for me. It teaches me more about the history of our culture, of our country, and of the world. And so we get a chance to delve into the history. And at the same time, sharing this story is an opportunity to enhance expressive and receptive language skills as we engage our children in conversation about the significance of the story. Like, why did Dr. Dan find it necessary to build a hospital? And the reason why is because many Black people and Latino people who did not, who lived in certain areas, because we were limited to where we could live in Chicago and in many places around the country, were not welcome at some of the other hospitals. And so people were dying, passing by hospitals that would have been able to take care of them, and but refused them care. And so Dr. Dan created Provident Hospital on Chicago's South Side. And it was initially for Black people and Latinos and for people who are indigenous to this country. But then he decided to open it for everyone. And so that's something that addresses more of the whole child, to understand more about something significant to their particular culture. And also in these conversations, we can encourage them to understand more about turn-taking skills in conversation so that they don't hog up the whole conversation. You can help them to think abstractly by asking them questions like, what would you do? Auditory discrimination, because the poem ends with rhyming words. We're looking at really focusing on ending sounds of words. Articulation, you can use the TD, confusion for some of the children. And there's Dr. Dan, there's a lot of D's and T's in that poem. And looking at vocabulary, excuse me, we have various terms that we can look at. What words did you hear? You might be able to pick out anesthesia. We can talk about surgery and exactly what is that. Open heart, what does that mean? The word stethoscope, the word rhythm, what does that mean? The word medicine, you can expand on a definition. For example, medicine can be a song. Most people, when they think about medicine, they think about something that's liquid in a bottle, or it's some kind of pill. But medicine can be a scent that calms or soothes you, or a scene like a forest or flowing waters. or field of beautiful flowers. It can be the sensation of watching the shift of colors in the sky during the sunrise. Medicine can be the sound of someone's voice who loves you and who you love. It can be your favorite song that lifts you. It can be a story that helps you to make sense out of something that you're going through that makes no sense at all. It can be encouragement when you're afraid. It can be receiving affection when you feel lonely. Medicine can be anything that moves you to a place of peace, of comfort, of healing, fulfillment, or joy. Medicine can be dance. And so language is truly powerful. And we know that there are Webster Dictionary definitions and what have you, but we can take words and expand them. And we can expand words across various experiences. And if we come together as language clinicians and as other rehab clinicians, as physical therapists, occupational therapists, mental health specialists, so many things, then we can put our heads together, and together we can address more of the whole child and contribute to that child's overall health, peace of mind, and well-being. I hope you will look into some of the details of the programs. The first one is being offered, starts on February 14th. That's primarily for the clinicians. That one runs for 8 weeks. That's the intensive. And then there is a 3-hour workshop for parents, educators, and librarians, and actually the community at large, but especially parents, teachers, and librarians. And that one will be on February 28th. That's a 3-hour workshop. And then there'll be a 3-hour workshop for clinicians if they opt not to do the 8-week, and that one will be on March 7th. So if you have any other questions, you can pop me a note at mamaedie4@gmail.com, or either just send me a message through my website. Thank you so much for your attention and your interest, and I hope to see you soon. Peace.